also developed soon after that the publish or perish software. So publish or perish, how did that come about, Anvil?
It's like the journal quality list. It was very pragmatic. Really, the reason was that I was unsuccessful in my promotion application for full professor at the University of Melbourne, where I worked at the time. And I was struggling to show that my work had significant impact, citation impact. And part of the reason was that at that time, many international business journals were not yet ranked in the Web of Science, or had only been ranked very recently. So if you were working in international business, your citations would be much lower than in other disciplines, more mainstream disciplines like organization behavior or economics. But I had noticed that Google Scholar, which had then been recently introduced, that was introduced in 2004 or 5, that did include a lot more publications and citations by international management academics. But Google Scholar wasn't very easy to manipulate. It wasn't easy to get data from. So again, my husband said, I can create you a tool for that. So he created a little software program that collated all the citations from Google Scholar and then calculated various citation metrics, including something called the H-index, which had been introduced just a year before. And the H-index is simply the number of papers with a certain number of citations. So if you have a H-index of 10, that means you have 10 papers with at least 10 citations each. If you have a H-index of 50, you have 50 papers with at least 50 citations each. So with that little program, I was able to show that actually my impact was higher than all the current professors who were already being promoted. So I was promoted a year after, and I thought, well, if it helps me, then maybe it might be able to help other people as well. So I thought I'd put it on my website, and it did in the first couple of years help a lot of people calculating their H-index, and it was used like that for the first couple of years. But now it's used for literature reviews, people who want to look at which journals to submit their papers to, do bibliometric analysis, prepare themselves for job interviews, finding out about the people who work in an institution, or to write, as Tamar said earlier, laudations or obituaries, where you want to have a complete overview of someone's work. And I never, ever expected that to happen. So I think that's one other thing that I want to emphasize, is that sometimes we do things, we start things, we embark on things, but we have no idea where they're going to end. We can't predict whether things will be successful or not. So the key thing, I think, is to just be proactive and do things, and not sit there and wait until someone else does something about it.
And, you know, it's such a meritorious initiative, the publish or perish and, you know, various measures that you develop, which are, you know, objective, rational, systematic, however we want to call them, because up until then, it was really subjective decisions. And many people were subjected to subjective decisions, and they were slighted. So they were disadvantaged. So, and then